Hi, everybody. This is Miriam. I'm your teacher. I'm happy that I'm able to communicate with you in this way. I'm going to share my screen. Today, we're going to talk about fragments. Fragments. All right. Okay. A fragment is only part of a sentence. As you can see, it's not good. There are three types of fragments. Number one, there's no verb. Here are some examples of verbs. They're always verbs. Am, is, are, was, were, have, has, and had, do, did, and does. You need to know which ones are present, which ones are past, which ones are plural, which ones are singular. Super important. But we need a verb. If you have one of these, you're probably all right. Each sentence must have a verb. Look for those verbs that I just showed you first. How many were there? Write them down. These are them. How many are there? Write them down. Might have to pause this video. Write them down. Other verbs are those which can be changed to the past tense. Okay, so there are so many. If it cannot be changed into the past tense, it's definitely not a verb. For example, glasses. You can't say yesterday I glassesed, right? You can't. It's not a verb, right? Face mask. You can't change yesterday I face masked. No, we can't do that. So that's not a verb, okay? But matter's a verb. Yesterday it mattered. In the future it will matter. We can change the tense. Verbs, what do? Verbs are what do they do? They do. Do is the verb. Anything that's the same as do is a verb. Sugar slowly poisons the body. What does sugar do? It poisons the body. That's what sugar does, right? Poison. Poison is bad. The windshield got chipped. What do they do? What did the windshield do? It got chipped. It got. Got is the verb. You wash your hands every day. What do? You wash, right? You see what I mean about do? The exact date of Juneteenth depends. What does it do? It depends, right? So that's why I mean about do. What does it do? What do they do? What do you do? So the important part is if you can substitute do for it, it's a verb. Sugar slowly, right? These are the verbs. The verb is never with ing or with to. So these are not verbs. To have, to talk, to give, to catch. Oops. Sorry. Are not verbs. Hope you can see this okay. They are not verbs. To have, to talk, to give. They're not verbs in a sentence. In principle, they're verbs, but in a sentence, they're not. These are fragments. We're talking about fragments. That's what this video is about, fragments. Fragments, are they good or bad? They're bad. So these are fragments. Why? Because running is not a verb, right? So there's no verb. To get to the other side, to get is not a verb, so there's no verb. Here, there's no verb. It's just a bunch of words. Here, there's no verb. These are okay. I fixed them. Running through the forest, comma, Red saw a wolf. Now we have a noun and a verb. To get to the other side, the chicken crossed the road. Now we have a noun and a verb. Here, I added a lot of words, including a verb. Lots of verbs. And finally, what was missing from this one was just the word am. Next time I won't put it so far down? The transition. These are okay. Saw, right? That's the verb. Crossed. Is and eat. Am. To back up is a verb. When I'm driving and I put my car in reverse, I back up, but just back is not a verb. So it's a fragment. Against is also a preposition, not a, let me go back. I go back, I came back, I went back, I will go back. Fine, we need a verb to go with back. Against is also a preposition, not a verb, like that. Go against, be against, act against, work against. Those are verbs. Okay. So it's okay to have two verbs. Number 2, I ski and swim when I go on vacation, right? Skiing, it's like snowboarding, skiing on the snow. An umbrella should have been taken, that's 4 verbs, that's okay. Number 2, another type of fragment has no subject. Oh no, no subject. Need to fix this. Okay, these are fragments. Getting a haircut, right? Again, there's no subject, no verb, right? Getting ing is not a verb, right? Here we have a verb. Never get to know who killed JR in Dallas, right? Here we have a verb. This is a TV show, Dallas. And JR is someone's name. This is were, past of are. We are ready. Yesterday we were ready to catch the quarterback's pass. Is this American football or soccer quarterbacks? American football. So there's no subject. Which take longer to digest due to the fiber. We have a verb, it takes longer, but which is not a subject, which is a subordinate conjunction. It's not a subject. Same problem here, that is not a subject in this case. This is a verb, to overstay. Its time limit gets penalized, $45. Penalized means you have to pay. Is penalized good or bad? Bad. These have no subject. Sorry. Okay, then I fixed them. Getting a haircut takes about 45 minutes. Now, getting the haircut is the subject. What takes? Getting the haircut takes. We'll never get to know who killed JR in Dallas. This is we will, that's the subject and the verb. They were ready to catch the quarterback's pass. We needed a subject. They were. They take longer to digest due to the fiber. This is the subject. Oops. A car that overstays its time limit. The subject is a car, and then the verb is gets. A car gets penalized. This is an adjective clause. The car that overstays its time limit. I'll make a video about adjective clauses. I did make a worksheet. You can see that. All right. Commas, commands. Commands are not fragments. Commands are okay. For example, buckle up. That's not a fragment. It only has 2 words, but it's okay. Watch the daily highlights to get more information, right? It's a command. Do it. Lease a Camry for $199 a month. These are okay because the subject is understood to be you. You, buckle up. You, watch the, right? You lease a Camry. How do you fix fragments? Sometimes it's easy. You can attach it to the previous sentence. Previous means before. For example, look at this. Notice I cited my source. Okay, and the period comes here. Now the problem is the black one or the red one is wrong. Which one's wrong? The red one is wrong, right? This is an adjective, small, right? This is the infinitive, to slide. That's not a verb. So the red one is the problem. I fixed it. Easy fix. I attached it to the previous sentence with a comma. This is before, after, before, after. Or you can attach it to the sentence after it. Here's another example. Just as I was saying that, the wind began to blow harder and more steadily. Notice I cited with the family name of the person who wrote the book and the page number and a period. Okay, all of these sentences are basically taken from this book. Now here we have as. It's a subordinate conjunction. That means two things are happening at the same time. But in this red sentence, there's only one thing happening. I was saying that. So the word as is saying two things are happening. It's a fragment. What's happening? Here's how I fixed it. I just attached it to the next sentence with a comma. Before, after. Okay? Number 3, this is the third type. I've alluded to this already. Subordinate conjunction problems are another type of fragment, very, very common type of fragment. These are the subordinate conjunctions. If you start a sentence with an SC and you don't finish it, it's a fragment. Fragments are bad. Here's examples of the subordinate conjunctions. Subordinate conjunctions I love and I adore. Pause this if you want to look at it a little longer. How many of those were there? Check them out. How many are there? Good. Some people didn't know provided that is the same as if, whereas is the same as although or but. That is only sometimes a subordinate conjunction. It's okay to say that is my book. That is my mask. That's okay. Here's a subordinate conjunction is when. When the back wheel spun, when. When tells me two things are happening at the same time. See, it's not a question. So it's like, what? The back wheel spun and what? What happened? It's not complete. So it's bad. When the back wheel spun, I'd have a dynamo. Again, that's from this book. Here's a picture of the dynamo. Sorry, should have put it in the slideshow. Maybe you can see it here. Dynamo. It's on a bicycle. Okay. No one liked the sound. When the back wheel spun, I put the SC, the subordinate conjunction, in the middle. Spun. This is okay. Notice there's no comma. You got to practice. Look at this. Look at this. You can see it. I held the windmill while Jeffrey popped off the Panasonic's battery cover and removed the cells. This is a subordinate conjunction. This is the ing, using my knowledge from the books. I assumed that because this is an SC, the radio operated on batteries. Its motor, not my motor or your motor, its motor produced DC power, which, that's an SC, which meant that we could connect the wires straight to the radio. Oops, what did I do? Good. These two sentences are okay how they are. The two black ones are good, right? Black is beautiful. The red ones need help. How can we fix this? You see the problems. Now they're fixed. Look at this. I held the windmill while Jeffrey popped off the Panasonic's battery cover and removed the cells. Using my knowledge from the books, I assumed that because the radio operated on batteries, its motor produced DC power, which meant that we could connect the wires straight to the radio's positive and negative terminals. And I cited the source. Okay, page 158 from this book. This is okay. I know this second sentence is really, really long, but it is okay. I didn't use quotation marks. These are quotes. My name's not on the slideshow. You can steal it if you want to. The end. I hope this video would be helpful for you. Please, when you're reading, pay attention. Where's the period? Read the periods when you are reading to yourself. Check them out. Those are role models for you. You're not going to see mistakes in most things that you read. Pay attention. Why is there a period here? Why isn't there a period here? That's going to help you a lot. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to your comments if you have any on the video. It'd be nice if we could have a little give and take about this. Go ahead and leave questions and say, like, is this a fragment? Okay. Have a good one. Bye.